with many different flavors. Your Gelee, for example, you don't always have to do a cherry flavor. You could do any fruit because you're making it with a fruit puree. You could do a blueberry, an apricot, a strawberry, or even a pineapple. And the cream the same. You don't have to fill the glass with the rice cream like I'm doing today. You could use your Bavarian cream from your assignment or even your pastry cream and fold in a little bit of whipped cream. So this is a really cool technique that I'm going to be showing you today, and you'll be able to apply it in so many different desserts and different flavors and different shapes and sizes of glasses. So first we're going to be making the cherry Gelee, which we're going to angle in the glass, and then we're going to make the rice cream. So knowing that, let's get started. So for the cherry Gelee, it's just a little bit of cherry puree with a little bit of sugar in it, and we're going to be adding a little bit of gelatin, and this is what's going to set this fruit puree, and it's going to enable us to add some mousses and different things to our parfaits or our glass desserts that we're making. So I've got my cherry puree on the stove over here with my sugar, and I've got it on a low flame, and you're just going to want to warm this enough so you can dissolve your gelatin in this mixture, the same that you did for your Bavarian cream dessert. And if you haven't done that already for one of your assignments, it's in the recipe database. Take a look at it. You can even make it ahead of time. Try it out. Call me, email me if you have any questions on the techniques. Okay, so we're warming our cherry puree, and I just took some frozen cherries and I thawed them out, and I pureed them and I strained them out. And you can do that with frozen strawberries, blueberries, or any mixed fruit that you find in your freezer section. There's always peaches in there too. You can also use fresh fruits. So I didn't have a lot of cherries available, so I decided to use the frozen ones, and they're a great convenience product. They're fresh frozen, so they're still very fresh. They lose a little bit when they're frozen, but they're nice for making things like this. So go ahead and use those. So to our gelatin now. So I'm going to be using a powdered gelatin. You can use sheet gelatin too. Powdered gelatin is more readily available. We've all seen it in our grocery stores by a Knox brand. I recommend using this one. And if you see a recipe that calls for leaf gelatin, for one leaf of gelatin, you're going to use a half a teaspoon of powdered gelatin. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some cool water, and we're softening the gelatin with the water. And this is not dissolving the gelatin. It needs something warm to dissolve. So we're just really softening this. And do we have any questions on gelatin so far? And as you can see, it's very opaque-y looking, and it becomes a little thick when you're dissolving it in the water, when you're softening it, in the water. And don't worry, even if it turns into one solid mass, it's fine. It's going to dissolve just fine once it's warm. So softening, then dissolving in a warm liquid. Any questions? We have a question.
Are fresh cherries used for the Gelee?
The question is, are fresh cherries used for the Gelee? You can use fresh cherries, but I didn't have a lot available to me this time of year yet at my grocery stores and markets, so I went ahead and used the frozen ones, and they're working out just fine. They have a super beautiful color to them. I pureed them and I strained them, and now I'm warming them with a little bit of sugar. So this is my softened gelatin. Like I said, don't worry if it all sticks together. Even if it's just one mass, you'll be fine. It'll dissolve just fine in your warm puree. So we've got our gelatin softened. So we have to make sure that our puree is warm enough. So I'm just going to turn up the heat a little bit here. And do we have any questions on anything? So as you can see, the cherry puree is a super beautiful color. It's going to be a real nice contrast in this dessert. So let's just warm this up a little bit. And then we're going to be dissolving the gelatin in here. And we have another question.
How much gelatin and how much cherry?
For this recipe, I'm just doing a small amount. I have 3/4 of a pound of cherry puree, And I weighed this out after I strained after I pureed it and strained it. So this is a clean mixture. And you can use the mixture unstrained if you would like the effect of, just a little pulp and things in there. That's fine too, but I kind of like the cleaner effect with straining it. And I'm using 3/4 of an ounce of gelatin, but we're going to be posting the recipe for you, so you'll have the whole thing all together, so no worries. So let's keep an eye on this cherry. We want to get it warm enough, but we don't want to get it too hot because it just needs to be warm enough to dissolve this gelatin. Okay, it's plenty warm now, so I'm going to be bringing it over to the table and I'm going to show you how this gelatin dissolves in here. Okay, just warm. Just kind of just steaming a little bit. You don't need to boil this because you don't want to scorch this or sugars and fruits and things in here. So we're going to be adding our softened gelatin, and like I said, it's kind of even turning into a mass. That's fine. It'll dissolve in the heat just fine. And you're just going to stir it around and you're just going to see it just kind of melts in here. And if by chance it's not dissolving for you, that means your liquid needs to be just a little bit warmer. So just, don't be afraid to warm it up just a little bit more. You'll be fine. And as you can see, like the little lumps are disappearing in this gelatin, and the water, which was softened, is just becoming completely dissolved. So gelatin is one of these things you have to be careful with temperature. You don't want to put it in something really cold because you'll kind of get that rubber bandy effect too. And we have another question.
Where is the recipe posted at?
Where is the recipe posted at? We're going to be posting the recipe on the blog after the webinar. And if you don't see it or if you need it, just send me a message or give me a call and I'll email a copy of it to you. Okay, now that we have our cherry mixture ready to go, we're going to be putting it in our glasses, and this is the fun part. So I've got some tumblers that I picked up that I like these because they're not straight up, they're a little curvy, but you can do this in really any glass you like, and you don't have to angle it the way that we're doing today. You can even just put like a little bit of the mixture in the bottom and have your gelée layer in the bottom. You can use little small cups or small glasses, wine glasses, margarita glasses, whatever you like. So have some fun with this. So I've angled these, and we're going to be pouring our mixture in. So this is a super fun technique. You'll be using this in the years to come. And I've got my glasses in my muffin pan because it's holding them on an angle. You can even put them on a tray and prop them up with a towel, so you can kind of be creative, but I always like to use these muffin tins for things like this, and then it's easy to carry it over to the fridge, and it holds right here in these little muffin cups. If you have a different shaped glass and it's sliding around a little bit, go ahead and put a damp towel in there and then it'll hold its place for you. So knowing all that, we're going to get going on filling our glasses. And what you want to do first is you want to skim off any foam that might be on here, because that's just going to affect that clean look. So I've skimmed my foam off. And now we're ready to fill our glasses. And you can just pour your mixture in to kind of like the height and the angle that you want it. And then we're going to be putting this in the refrigerator to set. Usually takes a few hours. I usually set mine. Overnight is nice too. The glasses that I made earlier, I set overnight. So this is how we put our angled cherry gelée in our tumbler glass. So I'm going to set these aside, and I've got some glasses that I made last night, and I want to show you how nicely set they are. Okay, so these are the glasses that I made last night. As you can see, they're nicely set. The cherry is on an angle. And we're going to be making our rice mixture, and we're going to be filling the glasses. So let's get started on that. So I've got my whipped cream that I made earlier, and this is basically a whipped cream mixture with some vanilla creme anglaise, the custard sauce that you've made in the program if you're in course 3. If not, it's in the recipe database. You can find it there. All the recipes are found in the database. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be folding the creme anglaise into the whipped cream mixture. And you can do this with pretty much any mousse. In the program, there's a nice raspberry mousse that's one of the assignments. It would be super nice with this if you wanted to do maybe a blueberry or blackberry gelée. Really nice touch. So I'm just gently folding in this vanilla sauce, and I've got some rice that I made earlier. I cooked it until it was tender in a little bit of milk with some vanilla. And I've got some vanilla in my vanilla sauce too. It's going to be a really nice flavor. And then we're just going to fold in the rice cream, and then we are ready to finish our glasses. Do we have any questions on anything? Be sure too, when you're cooking your rice, when it's finished cooking, if there's any excess liquid, that you're straining it out. You don't want it to be in this mixture because it could make it too loose. So we have a nice rice cream mixture. Pretty simple, huh? Just a few ingredients. And the gelée, that's the part that takes a little bit more time, I think, and it's a fun part for me. So please let me know if you have any questions, and we're going to go ahead and fill our glasses with our rice cream mixture. Okay, I like to use these dishers for things in the kitchen because I just find it so much they're neater for me to work with. So I'm just going to be filling my glasses with the disher, my cherry gelée, super beautiful, really nice dessert, so easy. If you make this for your friends and family, you will impress them for sure. And you kind of want to tap this down a little bit so you don't get many air pockets. And I'm going to be going all the way up to the gelée. And what you can do too is you can bring your gelée all the way to the end and just fill your rice cream up, not all the way, and then you'll have some of your gelée poking out too, which is a nice look also. So have fun with these desserts. It's pretty easy to do, and the effect is so fantastic and so striking. You can't help but to impress someone if you're serving this. So now that we've got the rice cream in the glass, you can see that the cherry gelée just shows up so well once you put something white in here. So like I said, have fun with different flavors. Then we have another question.
A couple of them actually. Is it just regular rice or sticky rice? Does the rice give it a strange texture?
We have a few questions about the rice in the mixture. And the question is it regular rice or sticky rice? This is just regular long grain white rice. I bought the generic brand at the store. When I'm doing things for like my mousses and things and creams, I just buy the generic brand. Worked out just fine. Like I said, I cooked it in a little bit of milk, so it makes it nice and tender. It gives it a little more rich flavor. And the other question is, does the rice change the texture? For sure. It's not going to be a really smooth cream. It's going to have the rice in there. You're going to be able to taste it. You're going to be able to feel it in your mouth. And like rice pudding, it's just it's a super nice dessert. And with rice pudding, you can do so many different flavors with that too. You can add some cinnamon. That would be nice for this rice cream. You could even add some dried fruits. And with the cherry, there's so many flavors that go with cherry. You could do a sour cream type of a mousse, or you could do something with almonds. Goes super nice with cherry. Also, a lot of fruits go really well with cherries, such as apricots and peaches and stone fruits like that. So let's go ahead and decorate these desserts. I've just got a little bit of whipped cream that I made earlier. And this dessert, it kind of speaks for itself, and you don't have to do a lot to it. So I'm just piping some whipped cream. I've got some super pretty nectarines, really nice orange color that I picked up yesterday. And you can just kind of place these on top, kind of point them out. You could also sprinkle some toasted almonds on this. That would be a really nice dessert. A little bit of crunch with your rice, so it'll be super nice. And does anyone have any questions on anything? We have another question.
Can you use tapioca?
The question is, can you use tapioca? Absolutely. That's super nice texture, a nice pudding to make that would go really nice in one of these desserts. And you could change up your gelée mixture too. So now that you have the technique down, you can go ahead and make any flavor that you like. Even chocolate would be nice, and white chocolate too. So I've got a little fresh cherry that I'm going to be topping this off with. And as you can see, it was a super easy dessert. You're just going to need a little time to set up your gelée and you'll be ready to go. So if there aren't any questions, we're going to get ready to wrap up. But before we say goodbye, I wanted to mention a few things. Keep in mind, Chef Thomas does his live session on Tuesdays at 9:30 a.m. Nice culinary session. Be sure to join him if you have time. And Chef Cesar does a Spanish session on Wednesday at 9:30 too. So if you're up for Spanish, tune in for Cesar's session. And we also have a contest coming up. But we have another question first.
Is this a French dessert? And was the sugar in the whipped cream or just plain whipped cream?
The question is this a French dessert? Well, the gelées definitely have a French origin. And these gelées, you'll see them in many, many French desserts. And you'll also see them on tops of cakes and filled with cakes too. So what you can do is you can fill your sponge cake layers in a ring mold or even a pan. And as long as you don't have a lot of gapping around the side, a ring mold works better. You can go ahead and pour the gelée on top, and it'll set up nicely and you'll have a really neat effect. So that's pretty much a classic French style. And are there any more questions?
Does the dessert go in the fridge?
The question is does the dessert go in the fridge? Absolutely. You've got cream in here and you've got a custard sauce, definitely stored in the refrigerator. You can make this ahead of time. It'll hold up just fine. And if you leave it for a few days, the colors might start to blur together a little bit, but definitely you could keep it overnight if you wanted to make it the night before. And keep in mind, you can make this in little shot glasses for a buffet too. You can angle the gelée, or you can even just put it in the bottom and put your mousse and cream on top. So if there aren't any more questions, we're going to talk about the upcoming contest. We're going to be holding another contest in the month of June, the 1st through the 30th. And what we're going to be doing this time, instead of just assignments, we're going to be using your progress too for you to be entered. And for every 10% of progress, you get an entry. And 4 people will be winning $100 gift certificate for our new online store, which has some great Escoffier things. We've got hoodies, aprons, we have chef jackets. So check out our new store online and work on your progress in your courses and your programs. And your assignments will count as 10% progress too. So let us know how you're doing. And your progress is going to help you reach your goals and help you get your certificate and move on with your dreams. So let us know if you have any questions on the contest, and we'll be sending out some information on that as well. So have a great week. It was nice seeing you today, and we'll see you next week. Bye.